Hi everyone, this is a brief video introduction to the new chapter, Chapter 2, Recognizing Arguments. In the last chapter, we learned what critical thinking is, what its benefits are, and what the hindrances are to critical thinking. I would like to argue that knowing the hindrances is more important than knowing the benefits, because knowing the hindrances allows you to begin thinking and then to begin engage more effectively and critically with what you encounter in everyday life. In other words, you have to know what the bad is so that you are better able to avoid it in how we understand and evaluate situations. Only then are you able to construct good solutions to problems. In chapter 2, we begin to build on the very fundamental element of critical thinking, recognizing arguments. The word argument is, again, like the word critical thinking, used to mean anything and everything. But in the context of critical thinking, it means, in the most basic sense, a claim. And as a claim, it has to be supported with reasons. So these reasons are stated to support the claim, and they come in the form of statements that are either true or false. And we'll keep in mind that statements can be true or false. And when an argument is valid, we're not talking about truthfulness of an argument, we're talking about the logical conclusion of the argument. So when we come to chapter 3, we'll learn more about this. But what does an argument look like? It has, in its most basic forms, premises and a conclusion. Sometimes you just get an argument without premises, and it's fully within your right to demand premises or the evidence that will support the claim. Otherwise, it's just really not an argument. It's just a statement. Um, so premises are statements, right? Sentences or statements that we give that are offered as evidence to support another statement, which we call conclusion. And what is a conclusion? It is the ultimate statement that premises are there to prove. So whenever you say something, you have to be ready to prove it, right? In other words, then you're just making grandiose statements and you're not arguing, and you don't really convince anyone. Although nowadays you can just make statements and without any proof, and people will fall for it. And that's why critical thinking is very important. We have to insist on seeing proof. So along the way, there are indicator words to help you identify premises and conclusions, so pay attention to those. We will learn in the course of the chapter how to spot an argument and how to spot a non-argument. Just as you need to know the hindrances to critical thinking for you to know the benefits, you also need to know what non-arguments are so that you're better equipped to deal with actual arguments. And we have had elections this past year in year 2020. And we chose a president, and we also chose senators and representatives at federal and state levels. And political ads, we saw them, they were plentiful, and they all came in all kinds of media format, on YouTube, on TV, on the radio, and just wherever you think of getting information, they were. And it is almost impossible to wade through the overwhelming volume of truths and untruths. It's really hard to figure out what the truths are and what the falsehoods are. And that's why it is very important to have a critical mind. Political campaigns are an excellent way to test your critical thinking skills, and we will look at some of them later in the semester. This chapter will also get you thinking about the basic logical concepts used for making arguments laid out in the next chapter. So from now on, we'll just keep building on the previous chapter and the previous chapter and the previous chapter. And don't be afraid of challenging somebody's claim and demanding proof for a claim. And that is how a healthy democracy works. Okay? So have fun reading and check out the exercise for this week. Bye.